So I'm just gonna get straight into the video, and it's a topic that I don't usually talk about a lot, really. So it's kind of how I personally feel about my acne. Now, it's something that I've struggled with for the longest time. I started getting acne when I was in the 6th grade. I'm in the 12th grade, and it keeps getting worse. That's a recent one from a few days ago, and it's actually really annoying because it's huge. So that is cystic acne right there. So I've been struggling with every kind of form of acne, really. There's blackheads, whiteheads, and cystic acne, which is the worst to deal with because you can't, like, it's not on the surface level like the other ones. It's really deep into the skin. So how do I feel about it? It's a weird thing, but I don't hate it. Like, I'm actually kind of glad I got it. And the reason for that is I thought I was ugly when I had clear skin. It was a horrible time for me, and I just thought, I'm ugly and I'm worthless and stuff, and I started getting really, really bad acne. And then having acne made me have to love myself and learn to take care of myself. I had to do things that I wouldn't normally do. I had to spend more money on skincare and do all these different routines and spend more time focusing on my appearance. And that has helped me in a lot of ways to really care about myself and to love myself. So it was a learning experience for me, and if I could go back to change it, I wouldn't. What I want now is for it to be gone, because now I'm like, oh, I'm not ugly, I'm not worthless. But I definitely would not go back and prevent this ever from happening. One of the worst things that I had to experience was the bullying. Now I have videos and pictures of how my acne used to look in the 10th grade, and it was intense and it was horrible. So I'll have like a little clip like right now. So yeah, as you guys can see, it was a lot. It was so much acne, cystic acne. It was bright red, it was irritated, it was painful, and it hurt me physically as well as emotionally. And one of the hardest things I had to deal with was what people would say about me. I had so many people saying that acne for me was this bad because I was unclean, that I didn't clean myself, that I didn't take care of myself, which was like furthest from the truth, honestly. When I was in the 10th grade, I would wash my face a couple times a day, and I was showering pretty much every single morning. There were like days where I just was going to be late for school, so I couldn't, but I was always very clean, and I didn't understand, well, what am I doing wrong? And it wasn't until I started like looking into it that I realized that it wasn't my diet that was the problem. It wasn't me not washing enough. It wasn't me not being clean. It was just my genetics, really. Both my parents had acne, so obviously I would have it. All my younger siblings have it now, and it's just something that we have to deal with. So I went through and I learned so much about just acne and the causes of it and the reasons why it gets so bad. My worst experience with acne was, again, in the 10th grade when it was at its worst that it had ever been. And I was really sick, and my parents were really worried because I'd been sick for a couple of days, and it was nonstop. I couldn't go to school, I couldn't get up, it was like I was dying. It was so bad. So they took me to the doctor because we were all really worried. We didn't know what was wrong. And we found out that I had the flu, but we didn't know what it was before then. So we get there, and this is why I don't really want to go to the doctors a lot, or like why I feel like I wanted to hide, especially around this time. I was really sick, and the doctor walks in, and the first thing he said was, "You must be here about your acne." And for about 10 minutes, he just talked about different things on how to get rid of it. He talked about, you know, all these different pills and medications and stuff. And I was just so distraught by that, because I was there because I was really sick and I couldn't get up in the mornings. I couldn't go to school. I was missing about just over a week of school, really, and it was so bad. And for 10 minutes, all he talked about was my acne and how bad it was getting. And that was kind of like when I realized that my acne was the first thing that people saw when they looked at me. And that was really hard for me, and it still is, just thinking about that. It was a really tough time. So then what happened was, after about 10 minutes of him just going off about how bad my acne was and all the things that we could do to get rid of it, you know, we finally got him to shut up about that, basically. And we said, okay, well, we're here because I'm just really sick. And he said, okay. So he went through, he did like spent like 5 minutes trying to figure out what was wrong with me. He looked at me, he's like, you have the flu? Now let's talk about your acne. And that pissed me off. I was so mad after that. I was like, how can you sit there and talk about something that I did not want to talk about like that? If I wanted to talk about my acne, I would say, hey, I'm here about my acne. But no, I was there because I was sick. And then he talked for 10 minutes about it. Then he just checked me for a couple of minutes and said, oh yeah, you have the flu. You shouldn't go to school for a few more days. And then he started talking about it again. And that day I felt so much worse. And it wasn't just because I was sick. It was because that was the first thing that he brought up when he looked at me. And then after that, for the next like 3 months, I was really self-conscious about it. I would go to the mall, and there were like these like little stations where you could like buy soap and stuff like that, little kiosks in the mall. I would walk past one, and this one guy was like, hey, you should come here. So like I walked over, I was like, okay, fine, like what do you want? And he's like, I have some soap that helps you with acne, and I can see that you have a lot of it. And that really killed me right there as well. It was like, all right, I'm just walking through the mall, I'm minding my own business, and I'm getting pulled aside just to talk about my acne. And that also really hurt. I was like, oh, like I knew it was bad. And then after that, I couldn't deal with it at all, and I just wanted it to be gone. And then another thing that had happened was someone that I knew made several fake accounts online to bully me on, and they said horrible things about me. They actually pretended to be one of my other friends, like they used their name and stole their identity basically, and they would say things. And then the one account started posting pictures of me at the school, pictures of me walking up and down the halls, pictures of me with my friends at the lunch table, pictures of me just at the school minding my own business. And that really bothered me because it was someone that I knew, and they knew things about me that only kind of my friends would know. And that also really bothered me. So just knowing that someone that I trusted was creating these fake accounts to bully me on because I had really bad acne. And it got to the point where I had so many people online just attacking me for the way I looked. And that was not a fun thing to have to deal with every single day. People were always staring at me. It was so bad. And I just didn't know what to do. And it just seemed like it was never going to go away. It still seems like it will never go away. I've had it for about 6-7 years now. It's still here, still getting new ones almost every single day. This one's really painful. They're not like if you press on them, they're painful, they hurt. So it's more than just like emotional pain, like it hurts to do things sometimes. And I have them on my back, I have them all over my face and stuff, and it's not a fun time for me. But if I could go back, I would not get rid of it. I wouldn't prevent it entirely. I feel like I had to experience these things to get to a place where I feel confident, like, with myself. I got to the point where now I can go about my day. I don't have to worry about it all the time. Like, there are mornings where I wake up and it's so red and inflamed and I feel horrible about it, but most of the time I don't even care. And it's really just helped me be myself in a way. Whereas I see all these people who have clear skin talking about how ugly they are, and I'm like, wow, I used to say stuff like that about myself. And it's not until something like that happens where you're bullied every single day, constantly, and it's a constant reminder, and everyone says that you're ugly and says horrible things about you, that you realize that there's other things that make you pretty, and that you're not ugly. And I really had to, like, go through something that hurt me so much for so many years to realize that I'm not worthless and that I am pretty. And so obviously I'm still really upset trying to talk about this stuff because it did really hurt me, and it still does. I mean, just thinking about that was the first thing that people thought when they saw me was just acne. And it was not a pleasant experience at all. And I really dread going out sometimes, because just knowing that that is what the first thing that people saw about me was just my acne, and it was horrible. It was stressful. If you guys see that I have like pencil on my fingers. Yeah, I was drawing. I didn't even realize that I had that on my finger until now when I was just looking at the camera, but this is due tomorrow. So I was doing this, and then I decided to take a break from it for a while to create this video, to make it, so, but yeah, I just noticed that now when I was like, doing this. I was like, oh my gosh, you could see that I have blood on my fingers, but, it was just a really weird experience for me to go through, having a doctor explain all this stuff to me, and it became more than just a doctor, really. I mean, I had my English teacher talking about it. She's like, oh, I used to have acne when I was a kid. This is like the type of product that I would use. And the thing that really put me off, though, was the side effects of some of those products. Like, they were always like, oh yeah, so there's some side effects. Like when my English teacher was talking, she's like, oh, I got really bad chapped lips now because I started using that. And I was like, oh, I don't really want that. I wear a lot of makeup. I mean, I get chapped lips a fair bit, but she said that she got them like every single day, and I was like, oh, I don't want that. I don't want to have to like deal with that and put up with that. So obviously, I learned about the side effects about a lot of this stuff, and it just wasn't for me. I felt like I wanted to get rid of my acne on my own. I wanted to test out different products. I wanted to do all this stuff and see what would work for me. And that was just a huge thing for me, was just because I didn't want to go back to like the doctor and everything. I didn't want to go back there. I didn't want to talk about it. I still don't, like, I still just do not want to go there because of that one experience. That's all it takes, really, to be put off from doing anything. It's just one bad experience. And for me, that was, I had the flu. I go in to see what was wrong with me, and I just talked about my acne the whole time. And they spent like probably 5 minutes at the most trying to figure out why it was actually there. You know, it was just like little things, like taking my temperature, my heart rate, stuff like that. And it was done. And they were like, oh yeah, you have the flu, but let's continue talking about your acne. And it was so frustrating for me because I was there because I was sick, and now he's talking about how bad my acne is. And it's like, I know it's bad. I see myself every day. I know it's horrible. So just having to deal with that was bad. But again, like, I don't hate having acne. It has allowed me to realize who my true friends are, because of course they didn't bully me and they don't tease me about it. It has also allowed me to feel better about myself in so many ways. And it's really allowed me to realize that I'm much more than just having acne, that there's more to me. And if anyone wants to stick around to figure that out, then they do. And that has been my experience, is people oftentimes would just take one look at me, they'd say, oh, you're ugly, oh, you're gross, oh, you're disgusting, and walk away. It was always those people who were always there, who didn't really care exactly what I look like. And those are the people that I still have in my life right now. They're the people that I talk to pretty much every day. And there have been people who have walked up to me a couple years later saying, oh, you're pretty now, let's be friends. And I'm like, no. You don't care about me. And that was like a couple days ago, really, where someone was like, oh, I'll talk to you again. And I was like, okay, well, why? And they're like, oh, you don't have as much acne as you did when we were friends. And I was like, okay, well then bye, because I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with you if you only care about how I look. And the reason why they thought about that was like taking photos together. Oh, they don't want like someone with like a whole bunch of acne in their photos on their Instagram page, on their Snapchat story and stuff like that, which is, it was hurtful to hear that, really, because like I had like asked them about it and that's what they had said, and I was like, okay, well, bye. I don't want to deal with that. And so I feel like it has really helped me realize who my true friends are, helped me realize who I want to be friends with, and it's helped me take care of myself, really. I mean, before I had acne, I just didn't really care. I would just throw on the first thing I saw, and I would put my hair back in a ponytail, or I would just not brush it, and I would just go to school like that. And then suddenly I had to take care of myself. Suddenly there was a reason why I had to get up early in the morning, do a whole skincare routine twice a day, And at first it was really annoying and really stressful to deal with because it wasn't getting better. And then a few months down the line, and suddenly it's clearing up. Suddenly it's not as red. Suddenly it's not as inflamed or as poofy, or there isn't as like much of it all over my face. And that really just made me want to continue working on it and to continue to take care of myself. And now I'm at a place where every morning I do things that I wouldn't normally do. I mean, I wake up and the first thing I do is I make my bed, or I get dressed and I eat breakfast and I wash my face and I take a shower and I do all this stuff that I wouldn't have normally done or started to do unless I had something that needed to be taken care of constantly. And that for me was my acne. It was something that I always had to take care of. I always have to apply moisturizer. I always have to wash it. I always have to do all this stuff, face mask and everything. And I wouldn't be where I am now if I hadn't experienced this stuff. So for me, how I feel about acne, it is that I kind of appreciate how I got it, but now I just want it gone, because now I'm like, I feel better about myself. I don't need to experience that anymore. But hopefully it does get better. I mean, right now I still experience really painful things like this one, which is huge, and it's really noticeable. Like it's really, really bad. But I'm just gonna take care of it like I take care of all my other stuff, and I'm hoping that within the next year or so I won't have to deal with this, and it's not something that I'll have to put up with. And I'm just really glad that I've had to experience this, and I can't wait until I don't have to deal with it anymore. But I'm willing to wait a while. I'm willing to continuously work at it for like until it's gone. Like really, like I am okay with having to deal with this. And that has just been my experience with acne. It's something that has made me learn to take care of myself. It's something that has made me realize how we really perceive people in a way, and how we really view beauty and like the things that we will do. And it's just interesting to see how one thing that a lot of people struggle with can make you feel so upset about yourself. And I mean, like, everyone deals with acne at some point, but I see people complaining about like getting 1 or 2 spots. There were people in my class who would complain about 1 or 2 spots, and then they would look at me and then they would start whispering. And it's just so interesting to see how everyone reacts to it differently, and how everyone's experiences are a bit different, even though it's like the same thing. Everyone has experience with acne, everyone's dealt with it at some point or will deal with it at some point, although some are worse than others. And it's the way that we treat people who have it. If they have like 1 or 2, we don't really care. But suddenly if someone has a condition where it is acne, because getting a pimple or 2 isn't really that big of a problem, but when you get like acne, like cystic acne, when you get all over your face or a large amount somewhere, suddenly everyone's rude to that person. It's just really intriguing how we view beauty and how important it really is, and how everyone wants to, I guess in a lot of ways, I don't really know how to explain it, but in a lot of ways everyone just wants to be perfect, and they would do almost anything to be perfect, and they don't really think about the consequences about that. But they also don't think about the consequences of attacking someone else or bringing something else up that might hurt someone. Sometimes people brought up my acne not to like harass me or anything, but it did kind of hurt because it was brought up all the time, and everyone would think, oh, I'm probably like the first one a day, or I'm the first one in the week, but no, you're probably like the 12th person who's looked at me or talked about me or something. So it's just, everyone perceives it a bit differently. Everyone has a different experience. And for me, my experience was I was able to learn how to take care of myself. and I learned how to accept myself no matter what, and that has been how I feel about it. I don't hate it. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened to me. It's certainly helped me a bit, because I've definitely realized that I was not ugly back when I thought I was, and that there are worse things than having messy hair and having, you know, like, I guess, not nice clothing, really. I don't know, I just thought that I was ugly because I didn't dress like everyone else, I didn't look like everyone else, and it made me realize that that doesn't matter, really. But yeah, so that's just kind of been my experience with it and my thoughts on my acne, and I know that it shouldn't become a part of me, but it is. I don't view it as just something on my skin. It's kind of part of me, really. It's shaped me, who I am, how I feel, how I behave. It has allowed me to pursue what I want to do in makeup, which is helping other people figure out things. I know at the school I was kind of known for covering up hickeys and stuff, and at first it was just my friends that I was covering their hickeys, and suddenly they told their friends, and all these people were coming to me asking me to cover up their hickeys and other things. And at that point I just realized that because I had acne, I was so good at doing things that everyone else kind of needed help with. And so when people say, like, don't let something like this take over your life, I feel like I'm glad that I kind of did, because it has allowed me to express myself in different ways. It's allowed me to be different from everyone else, and it's allowed me to accept myself better than I ever would have been able to if I didn't have acne. So I'm just really, really glad that I've had to experience this, and that I will continue to experience this for a while, but I can see that it is a lot better than it was 2 years ago now, and I'm just hoping that I won't have to deal with it forever. But yeah, those are just my thoughts and how I feel about it, and obviously I still have some resentment, not really towards my acne, but towards what people have said about it and towards how people reacted to it. That hurt me more than actually having acne. Now obviously there is like the physical pain that I just can't really bear, but it's more the emotional damage that it does, and that's what people don't really understand, is that it hurts you emotionally more than physically. It just damages your self-esteem and it ruins a lot of things, and you can't have a lot of fun. But I've had it for nearly 7 years now, and I'm probably better off than I was before. But yeah, I'm gonna end the video here. If you guys like this video, like and subscribe. I will have another video up, I don't know when. I've been really busy with school because it started last week. I'm working on my art projects, which are going to take up a long time because I'm taking a college art course, which is Art 30 Advanced, and we have to make 16 large projects and stuff in the one semester, as well as every week or so we have to hand in a sketchbook assignment, which is what I was working on earlier. So this is my first assignment in my art class, and I really like it. I don't know. And I'm just hoping that I can continuously do all my schoolwork and everything, find a job, as well as keep uploading these videos, because I really do enjoy doing that. But I do have problems when I make these videos, because for one, I do them all on my phone and I upload them on my phone, so I won't be able to create thumbnails. So it's there have been some pretty funny things where YouTube just randomly picks a section in a video and then uses that as kind of like the cover photo when you go to click on it. There have been some pretty funny things that have happened, and I'm not going to delete the videos, I'm not going to take them down. I find it kind of funny, because there was the last video that I posted where I was putting it on underneath my eyes, and I was like cross-eyed and I was like pulling my eyes. It was actually really funny. I was like, oh no, that's horrible. I need to figure out how I can change that, but obviously if I'm doing it on my phone I don't think I'll be able to, but I will try to do that. Other than that, I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys enjoyed. and I hope you guys continuously like watching my videos. If you guys have any suggestions for future videos, whether it's just different makeup looks, reviews, anything to do with hair, I can do. I know right now my hair looks like trash because I woke up and I put it up so I can work on my sketchbook and it won't get in my way. But yeah, I will be back with another video probably next week. I think I'll just be uploading videos on the weekends because I can easily make them on the weekends and upload them on the weekends because I won't be too busy. But yeah, I will see you guys later.